Part 2 of the box review.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Demise in Ruin. What is this about? Well, here are some deck concepts from the community within Duel Links Meta. Discord.gg/Duel Links Meta to be a part of the largest, most active Duel Links community for events, discussion, and help. All the benefits above me and on the right. Now, after looking at this, the overall concept is they want to summon Demise, the King of Armageddon, to wipe the fields. How did that do that? What'd it do? Demise, King of Armageddon, says, pay 2,000 life, wipe the field besides itself. It's not once per turn, but you have 4k life, so you pay once, you're down to 2k. You can't do it again unless you got life point boost A or, maybe some other boosting life point card. Now, we have Ruin, Queen of Oblivion. We got the King and the Queen. People are not liking the Queen so much because her effect is not good. She could perform a second attack after destroying a monster by battle. That's kind of not as good as wiping the entire field. Then we have Demise, Agent, and Ruin Angel. So these are the little versions of the King and the Queen. They're the level 4 versions. On summon, the little Demise will destroy a face-up monster. If sent to the grave, your opponent cannot chain to your Demise ritual wipe effect. So if they have a Divine Wrath, you will be able to activate and they cannot chain to negate. And the little Ruin Queen, what she does is on summon, can make a second attack onto monsters, and if sent to the graveyard, your opponent cannot activate in response to your ritual monster's attack. So no Sphere, no Wall D. Now, the field spell makes the little ones kind of good, because the field spell says you can, on summon of any of your rituals, and the level 4s are easier to summon, you get to draw a card or destroy a card. That's the main thing with the field spell. Now, in addition to that, it has another effect where you could target a ritual on the field and reveal a ritual in the hand. The in-hand ritual will become the targeted ritual's level. So if you have a level 8 on the field and a level 4 in the hand, you reveal the level 4, now it becomes level 8 for easier ritual showconning. Here are the ritual spells. Cycle of the World. This is a really good ritual spell, but the problem is you can't use your hand for the ritual showcon. You can only use the field. But because it's not so good to ritual summon, its other effect is, next turn, you could shuffle this card from the graveyard back on the deck to add the better ritual spell from your deck to your hand, and then you could add a queen or a king from the graveyard to your hand. So that sets up for a ritual summon, and the End of the World is just a basic ritual spell. You use your hand or field. It is levels that equal level 8 or more to summon your king or your queen. Now, even though these are the core support cards, if you looked at the concept decks that I showed you quickly, no one's using them. I'll show you how to use them, but the card they're using instead is Advanced Ritual Arts. This is used to ritual summon using your deck to help assist. So instead of using your hand and or field, you use your deck, send a level 8 like a Blue Eyes White Dragon to ritual showcon. Now, so here's an overview, here's a quick little deck, and here's a replay. So for example, in this deck, we want to summon the Demise King with the Advanced Ritual Art, wipe the entire field. You could search for the Advanced Ritual Art or the Demise King with Master of Rites. And after losing 1,000 life, that's why we're playing Cosmic Cyclone. And after sending Blue Eyes White Dragon to the graveyard to wipe the field with the Demise King, you activate Silver Cry, summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon onto the field, and then you got lethal after wiping the field. That's the deck concept. So we can watch that real quick. So here's an example replay. We opened up with an Ancients, a Silver Cry, and the Demise King Armageddon. We set the Ancients, and we're gonna pretend like they attacked into the Whitestone and dealt 1,900 damage. Just 1,900, not too much, not too little. In the end phase, the Ancients will summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now, we're going to draw for a turn. We're going to activate the skill because we lost 1,000 life either through Cosmic Cyclone or from them attacking. In this case, it was them attacking. We're going to return a card back in the deck to add the Ritual Spell Guaranteed. Activate the Ritual Spell, sending a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck to the graveyard to summon the Demise King. Demise King will pay 2,000 life. Look, we're at 2,100. Enough to pay for it. We drop down to 100 life, wiping out our own Blue Eyes White Dragon and all of our opponent's cards. Follow up with a Silver Cry, and we win. That's a concept of how this deck works. Here's an example of without using the advanced ritual art. I think you'll definitely want to play a mix of Senjus and or Sonic Birds to help search and have something to tribute summon on the field with your Circle of the World. In our replay combos, this didn't work out too well. We played Grit, but you know, something like this. This is a concept of what it could look like where we just play the Demise King and the Little Demise. New fur hires. We got 3 different fur hires. We're gonna rate them from best to worst. So the number 1, the best one, from best to worst, is Bravo. Now, if you didn't know this, all the little fur hires have the same effect of, while on the field, special summon a fur hire from the hand. Does not matter how small, how big it is, special summon. And then, when you perform a special summon of a fur hire while the monster's on the field, it will activate. So they all have that same effect. Special summon from the hand, and then that triggers their effect. Bravo's effect, besides being 1900 attack, is boost up your entire field by plus 500. So for example, Bravo special summon Dinah, and Dinah now becomes 3000 attack, and the Bravo itself is 2400. So it makes the deck a lot more aggressive because fur hires are known for being tiny. Another combo is you can Bravo, special summon your Dampa or your Recon. That will then boost up the Dampa or Recon in the Bravo. Then the Dampa or the Recon will summon a Wiz. The Wiz will not get the boost, but the Wiz will trigger the Dampa or Recon to destroy a face up or face down. And because of this, because of Bravo, you now have lethal. Normally, this would not be lethal if you pretty much had any other fur hire to summon and try to go for game. Then we have Helmer. Helmer, second best new fur hire. 2000 defense, 0 attack. The 0 attack is relevant because if it's your opening card to summon, you're at 0 attack. But otherwise, if you special summon in 2000 defense, that's pretty good. And they are going to want to do whatever they can to take this Helmer off the field because Helmer, when you special summon another fur hire on the field with Helmer on the field, you get to discard and draw a card. So you get to do that every turn. Discard, draw, discard, draw. You do have to discard a fur hire to continually draw, so this could help with a good opening play, and you could even activate the effect on your opponent's turn to, if you're able to special summon on their turn with a fur hire spell, cycle through your deck. Now the worst one is Philo. Philo, 0 attack, 0 defense, not a tuner, it's just on the field, and you probably want to tribute someone over it, but when a fur hire special summoned, you get to special summon a fur hire from your graveyard in defense. So that's a good way to grab Wiz from the graveyard. Otherwise, we already have another fur hire that adds from the graveyard to the hand, but this will go directly onto the field. So here's a recent example of a deck that you would want to improve that did well recently. Thank you, Bazzi, for the example. So basically throw in 1 to 2 Helmers, maybe put in 1 Bravo. The deck does not change drastically. Performapals. This is possibly the largest deck type in Yu-Gi-Oh history. Let me know in the comments if there's more than 100 cards of another deck type, because there's a lot of them. Now, we are getting a lot of them, but they still pretty much do nothing. Because as you can see, it looks like a lot of this is Pendulum. And you also let me know in the chat, in the comments, do you want to see Pendulums come to Duel Links? No. No one wants to see Pendulums come to Duel Links. So, skipping through all the bad Performapals, which is 99% of them, we got these 2. We have the Donkey. The Donkey on summon will special summon a Pal from the hand or the graveyard. The Pal we're going to use is Sky Pupil. Sky Pupil says when it attacks, it will negate the opposing monster it's battling with, and will also destroy it at the start of the damage step. So swing into Cocytus, negate it and destroy it. Saber Dancer, negate and destroy. The Pupil will only activate the effect to destroy if you have the Donkey alongside it, so it needs the buddy system. And then we have the Performapal Call. This will search. So if your opponent attacks directly, negate the attack, and then equal to the attack or less, you get to search for up to 2 Performapals that their defense are equal to or up to the attack of the monster you negated. So if you negate a 1400 attack, you could search for the Pupil and the Donkey, and then you got the combo. But you can't use your extra deck the next turn after activating the Call. But the best way to play the deck is probably using your extra deck with something like this. So if you do use the Call, you just won't be able to use your extra deck. It's just a concept of what the deck looks like. Donkey, Pupil, recycle Pupil from the grave, get swinging, get negating, get destroying, just like that. So here's a random hand. We'll just set the call, we'll negate an attack, we'll search for the donkey, and we'll search for the pupil. The Sangins are pretty much dead in this replay. We draw for the turn, a third Sangin, what the heck. We use the donkey to summon the pupil, then it went to the graveyard because, you know, we battled, we did our thing, and then after using it, we summoned donkey again to resummon it. And then, you know, it died again, but we destroyed another monster. So that's a good example of using the pupil twice to destroy 2 monsters, and alongside, you know, just not drawing any tuners. What the heck? But that's what the deck could look like. Simorgh. Here are some community deck list concepts. You can quickly see them. If it's not a full 20-card deck, they are trying to show that that's the core of the deck. Ooh, we even got Dark Lords from James. Now, let's talk about the main card. The main card, Simorgh, Bird of Bringing. On normal summon, search for a Simorgh. If it's in the graveyard, you could special summon if your opponent controls no back row. It's that simple. Then we have Simorgh of Darkness, the core boss monster of the deck. It's got soft once per turn effects. That means if you have multiple copies, you can activate multiple effects. Number 1, you special summon it from the hand or the graveyard if you tribute summon for a dark or wind monster. Boom, it's on the field. Now, why do you want it on the field? It's 2,900. Also, while on the field, if your opponent activates a spell or a trap, you will negate and destroy by tributing itself or a wind wing beast monster. So have this on the field, then possibly use the effect of Bird of Bringing to special summon onto the field if your opponent controls no back row for easy tributing. Tribute, get negating. Now, similar to the Bird of Bringing is this one. On normal summon, you get to perform an additional summon. So if you're thinking what I'm thinking, you summon this, then you perform a tribute summon over it as your additional summon, which will then trigger the darkness to summon onto the field, and then you summon the beginning back on the field through the effect of if your opponent controls no back row. So then you're gonna have whatever you tribute summon for, a darkness, and then you're gonna have this on the field to be tributed for the effect of your darkness to negate a spell or trap. Now we have the Simorgh Onslaught to make the deck more consistent. Discard a Winged Beast, add 2 Simorghs with different attributes. Well, the whole deck is going to be Wind plus Darkness, so search Darkness and another Simorgh. The other effect is, even the turn it sent to the graveyard, you could banish from the graveyard to reduce the level of a Winged Beast monster in the hand by 1 level. So this is the most important card of the deck because we have a level 7 Simorgh. We want to reduce it by 1 level to make it level 6. So instead of being 2 tributes, it's 1 tribute. So we want the Bird of Divinity plus an Onslaught to reduce its level, plus a Bird of Beginning to summon, then activate to perform an additional summon. And then you get to summon the Darkness after you tribute summon for your Bird of Divinity. See, I don't even care what the effect is because it all works with the deck to summon the Darkness. We care about Darkness the most. And it looks like I wrote all that there. And the other effect, if you do care about the effect, is each player will take 1,000 during each of their end phases while this is on the field. This damage is decreased by 500 for each spell and trap that the player controls. So you will be burning yourself in the end phase. We have another Simorgh. It is a ranked dual ticket reward, not from the box. It is a level 8, so we're not going to be able to tribute summon by, similarly using the Bird of Divinity with the Onslaught. Unless, and I'll tell you about the unless. So what does it do on the field if it's worth double tributing for? On the field, it will reduce the tribute cost to win monsters by 1. So even without the Onslaught, if you have this on the fields, it will make the Bird of Divinity 1 less tribute if you don't have the Onslaught to make it 1 less. So that works with that. Also, on tribute summon, return 2 cards of your opponent's cards back to the hand. It does target. It's a really, really old card. 2008, no reprints. It doesn't say target on the card, but it does target. Now, you could use double Onslaught to reduce it to level 6, but you can only activate 1 Onslaught per turn. So if you use an Onslaught on your first turn, use an Onslaught on your next turn, with double Onslaught in the graveyard, you can activate both to reduce it to level 6 for a single tribute summon to then do the whole Darkness combo play. So a quick overview is the Simorgh Bird of Bringing. It basically ends your turn. This does search, but you do not get to perform an additional tribute summon. You summon this, it's over. So if you summon this, you're going to want back row or double summon to protect it, because this is the turn you activate this card, you're done. So what you're gonna want is the main plays, you're gonna want Onslaught, plus say another Simorgh, and then you're gonna wanna have a Simorgh of the Bird of Beginning with a Darkness and a Wind monster to basically have the combo of being able to negate. So here's a decklist concept, double summon, to make it so the bird is not useless. So I chose to double summon instead of back row. We also have Kite Roid, so if we were to summon it and end, we have Kite Roid to survive the next turn. And let's check out a play. Hajime. We activate Onslaught, we discard a Wing Beast to add 2 different Simorghs with different attributes. We have the Darkness and we have the Divinity. This is the main combo, this is it. Then we summon. Or first, we could special summon this because they control no back row. It's the first turn. Boom, special summon. Then we could normal summon the Bird of Beginning, which will allow us to perform an additional summon. Then we could tribute summon for the Simorgh Bird of Divinity after we activate the effect of Onslaught to reduce its level. So we would banish it first, reduce it to level 6, then perform a single tribute summon, which will trigger the effect of the Darkness. And then just like that, we have the Darkness to tribute off the Bird of Bringing, which will be banished when tributed to negate a spell or trap activation. So we negate a circle. Circle, negated. Then, our turn, we special summon the Bird of Beginning onto the field because they control no back row. And then, if we want to, we can, on the next turn again, negate, tributes. So double negate, we even ripped into a Cosmic Cyclone. That's kind of how the deck works. Negate, summon Simorgh, use the Onslaught to search. X-Sabers. We almost have every X-Saber card. X-Sabers is my most tournament tops for the TCG through many different ban lists. So the variations of the deck were very, very different. We're still missing Gothams and Pashul. So if you're an X-Saber fan, just know that we're still missing this, but we basically have everything else. These are 2 big cards to be missing, but let's see what we got. We got Airbellum, ultra rare. It is a level 3 tuner. That's the main thing I view it as. It's a level 3 tuner that is beast, but it has an additional effect. It's also 1600 attack. If it inflicts damage by a direct attack, you get to discard a card. Now, I'm very proud of Konami, because if you're a TCG player, you know that through many different formats, being able to discard from your opponent's hand has been a big, big thing in top tier decks. And it's really degenerate. It's not fun on your first turn to be losing your hand. So good job on Konami, because that's actually what this deck could have done, because that's what Gothams does. You could tribute itself and other X-Sabers to discard from your opponent's hand. Oh my Jesus. So because it was a level 3 beast tuner, I used it with Rescue Cat, not in game, so don't worry about it. Instead, I think Full Helm Knight's better. It's just a better card. Unless we have a synergistic card to use it with it because it's a beast. And we do. We'll talk about that in a second. The card I'm most excited for is Gotham's Emergency Call. This is a card I definitely use in all of my variations of X-Sabers. And what it does is, if you control an X-Saber or there's an X-Saber on the field for the mirror match, there won't be a mirror match, no one's gonna play this besides me. We're gonna clap fools with it. Target 2 X-Sabers in either player's graveyard. Special summon them to your side of the field. So that's great for Synchro Shokan, big plays. Now, what I like to use it with is Raikou. Raikou on flip will mill 3 cards, destroy a card in the field, mill X-Sabers, so you could use the Gotham's Emergency Call. Maybe play Endless Trapel. Mill the Gotham's E-Call, then add it back to the hand with the other X-Sabers you milled. That is what I'm talking about. Wow, okay, big brain, that's what I'm doing. Now, back in the day, I used it with Super Nimble Mega Hamster, which we do have. On flip, you could special summon your Raikou face down. But because you're using it in an X-Saber deck, you could also on flip, special summon a Dark Soul or an Airbellum from your deck face down. Otherwise, you could use Charge Light Brigade. Saber Hole is another combo card, or I should say another good card. What it does is, if you control an X-Saber, negate the summon of a monster and destroy it. So you're gonna negate summons that do not start a chain link. Rod on summon before it activates. Negate, negate, negate. But it will not negate an effect to summon. An effect to summon would be Navigation, can't negate. Spectral Sword, you can't negate. You have to negate the summon itself. So if the summon is based off a chain link, it's not going to be summoned. Here are X-Saber cards we already have, and what they do. Foul Troll, special if you control 2 X-Sabers, specials an X-Saber from the graveyard. It's really good if we had Gothams or Pashul to make level 8 synchros, otherwise probably won't see much use. Ember's Blade floats into any level 4 or lower X-Saber. Full Helm level 3 tuner negates attacks. Dark Soul Beast, Level 3, non-tuner, if sent to the grave. In the end phase, search for any X-Saber monster. And then Foul Troll, special summon an X-Saber from the hand. And then for a synchro, we have Hyunlei. Level 6, so 3 plus 3, pop 3 back row. So I'm most excited to use the deck with Gotham's Emergency Call. Here's just a sample deck. I'm not saying this is the best way to play it, but here's an example with the Nimble Mega Hamster to summon the Airbellum from the deck. We got Dark Soul, we got Raikou, Mill, Flip, get poppin'. Let's check out a play. Hajime. Draw into a random hand. We got the hamster. So we're gonna set double E-Call. They're gonna attack into the hamster. We're gonna summon a Raikou from the deck. And then Raikou is going to, well, the hamster died from battle. We'll flip up the Raikou. We'll pop a card in the field. We'll mill 3. We milled 8. Ooh, very good. We got tuner, non-tuners. We got the E-Call. We just need to summon the Dark Soul, and then we can activate it. Now, we're saying that the Raikou got destroyed by battle. That's why I put it to the graveyard, because you know it did. So we summoned the Dark Soul. We got him's E-Call. We summoned the Airbellum and the Emmer's Blade. Now we can get Synchro Shokan in. Synchro with the Dark Soul and the Airbellum for a Hyunlei. Wipe out the back row, pop 3. And then, you know, another turn, draw another card. Something happens to it, that's okay. We got him Z-Call. We summon, we Synchro Shokan, we summon the Full Helm. So it's just a good Synchro Shokan time. That's right, Quarion. So if you have a tuner, you summon the tuner, then you could, with the Gotham Z-Call, summon another tuner and then a non-tuner to make Quarion to banish 3 cards on the field. That's crazy. So let's have a good time with this deck. We'll see.